If you had to say one thing to him, you're in front of him.
Well, the way he is at the moment, the way he started the season, going, but I'm going to state the obvious. We're criticising Liverpool. He's got to win some more football matches. He's got to find a way to win. No, stating the obvious. But if you're winning football matches, you have a chance to have a project and to do other stuff. That includes Pep and all these players. But if you're talking about getting distracted by some of his decision making, we're all looking at it. And we've all played the game at a good level. We're looking, going, that's a bit strange. Chopping and changing his fullbacks or defenders, throwing Maguire on every game to try and get you winning goal. He's trying to make somebody in the halfway line, and then there's a tackle and there's a foul, and he's arguing, and Everton going to score. But you see the guy scoring, and Bruno's arguing on the halfway line. Have you seen the goal? Anyone seen the goal? So they're arguing while the goal's going in. So I know it's pre-season, but if he's your captain or your senior player or one of your leaders, these are not good traits.
Yeah, I think on
We'll get back to Keno in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, well, the Manchester United merry-go-round is back in full swing. I said it last season, if Ruben Amorim doesn't start winning straight away, the Wolves are going to come out, and indeed they are out. And there are none so vicious as the overlap crowd. They tear Bruno Fernandes and Ruben Amorim to shreds. Stick around for after the clip, because the Big D is going to be giving his thoughts on this whole situation himself. Here they are.
Misses a penalty, doesn't it? It is.
Yeah. Well, when he missed over the bar.
To be fair, it came into my ear actually during the game. I think since he's come into the Premier League, he's missed more penalties than anybody else.
Is that right?
Yeah, someone else with him. It's about 7 or 8 or something like that in 5 years or 6 years. There was someone else with him, I think, that's missed.
Yeah. The thing with Bruno for me is, and he's obviously miles away, Manchester United's best player last season. He's not a centre midfield player. I don't get this centre midfield thing.
Where do you want to play him?
He's obviously one of the ball players for there. I get that. So the plan must be to play him centre midfield. And I think when Amorim first came in, he almost wanted Bruno everywhere because he had no players who could get on the ball in the middle of the pitch. But he wanted them higher up for his goals and assists. So he's caught in between. But he's obviously gone out and bought Cunha and Buemo to play those positions.
And Mount's come into that role
Mount's,
now.
Mount's doing well as well. But Bruno in central midfield with Casemiro, that's never been a centre midfield. It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand it. He's the best player. I get that. But where do you play him? What are you going to do with him going forward? He can't be central midfield.
There's all these other traits he has. Listen, I've been critical of him over the last year or two. I think them traits, he's not going to change now, is he? What age is he? He's not going to get rid of them traits.
If he could get angry over a referee's silly thing like that, of course he's not going to change.
Yeah, but we see too much of that. We saw him at Liverpool last year. We see the arms, even against Arsenal. The first game of the season, he gives the ball away after a little ball in the box that leads to the goal for the corner. Little details we're going, Bruno, your leadership skills. The referee thing last week, I know there'll be people say penalties, but don't let it upset you going into the second half.
Yeah.
Or I've heard stuff, and I don't know people again, not the people you've contacts with, Nev, the groundsman, but if Bruno's upset with something, the trainer, he carries it on for the week. Yeah. People might think I was an anarchy git, but if something happened, I would kind of move on quickly enough. No, you wouldn't let it interfere with your performances. You might be upset with somebody. So all these little traits, his technical stuff, I think is brilliant. I've said it before, but all these little... I saw a little clip in pre-season. United played Everton pre-season. I know people say, well, it's only a pre-season game. One of the goals they give away against Everton, he's trying to make somebody in the halfway line, and then there's a tackle, and there's a foul. And he's arguing, and Everton going to score. But you see the guy scoring, and Bruno's arguing on the halfway line. Have you seen the goal? Anyone seen the goal? So they're arguing while the goal's going in. So I know it's pre-season, but if he's your captain or your senior player or one of your leaders, these are not good traits.
Yeah, I think on Sunday also, to be fair, when Smith Rowe makes the run off the back of him as well on the goal. But
things like that can happen in football.
I thought it was poor Dave.
Track your runners is basic.
What about the manager changing the back? I know it's only 5 minutes to go, but what about the manager changing? I mean, substitutions in general, because I think in both weeks that we've seen, the team seems to have got worse as the substitutions have been made. But taking off back players, so taking Yoro off and Shaw off with 5 minutes to go. Why would that? I don't understand that.
But he done it last year.
And last week against us with the whole back three change when he brought Maguire on for Shaw. But why? Is there an explanation as to why you change your back three?
Well, the madness sometimes they're bringing Maguire on to get your goal. They've spent
And he
hundreds of
nearly
millions.
got one.
And he nearly got one
didn't
from
he?
the set piece, of
Yeah.
course. So you're now Man United, you've spent hundreds of millions on attacking players, and you're saying to Maguire, okay, no, get warmed up. You're going to front, hit the big man, hit Joe Jordan.
Right in the mix.
You know what?
I mean?
I was a centre
Throw it
back.
in the mixer.
You know, I was a centre back, and it's probably one of those positions when you start a game, you know you're not coming off.
Yeah, you don't usually come on.
Yeah.
If you've come off as a centre, something feels
Something's really bad, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
Or the
feel
defenders.
right bringing centre. I'm not saying it should never happen, but the point I'm trying to make is, you bring a centre, it doesn't feel.
But when he's making these
feel right
decisions, Jamie,
about.
does that make you doubt the manager a little bit? Do you say,
But I'm saying you're trying to win the game. There must be something in it. There must be some thought process, whether it's energy,
wonder what
whether
it is.
Harry.
I can't
Listen,
understand
bringing
it.
Harry Maguire on, if you're going, okay, we've got a back three, we bring Maguire on, maybe he's going to give us more of a chance of a goal from a set piece. I get that, and they nearly get that. But you said this happens a lot, and he done 2 of them in the back three as well. It just.
Well, 3 of the back 5 changed, if you think about it, because he took Ahmad off for Dallo, he took Yoro off, and he took Shaw off.
Was he?
Do you
He
think
brought,
it's
he brought,
just
he brought
Ahmad
Heaven
and
and
Shaw
Maguire on,
putting
if you
the
remember,
yards
in the last 5 minutes. He brought Heaven and Maguire on. So, all right, maybe the Maguire one, you've made a good point. He can get a goal, so maybe put him on for 70. But then Heaven...
not every week, I'm saying you can't be every week looking to bring Maguire on to get you out of jail.
No, but that's my point. I think when you're changing your back line regularly, I think Ten Hag did it for quite a bit as well, didn't he? When he changed his back line, made substitutes, I think you're all over the place a little bit when your back line's changing. And you've also got your goalkeeper issue anyway, which obviously we've discussed, and we say we need to get a new goalkeeper. But if you're changing your back line as well, that to me is a big worry.
Do you remember the first game of the season we did, and Slot joined us at the end of the game, and you mentioned earlier on about, I was speaking to Slot about the tactics of the setup of the team and what he was thinking. I'd love to have that chat with Amorim. You know, maybe after the game and that. And not to question it, the guy's obviously done brilliantly at Sporting Lisbon. But the system that he plays, and people say he should be more adaptable, I understand that he sticks with it because it's what he knows, that's his thing. But I'd love to know, what does that system give you more than 4-3-3 or playing with the wingers the way United do historically? What is it about that system that you think is better than other ways of playing? Because we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it yet. But he obviously, there's something in his head about what he's done before at the former club that he wants Manchester United to do, and he feels that can, make his team one of the best teams in the league and go on and win big trophies. What is it? Is it something about the wing backs? Is it having 3 centre backs who are big for set pieces? Is it having a front? I'd love to ask him what it is about
if he
this
came
system,
in and
but we can't see it yet. There's nothing.
No, the signs aren't good, and the results will tell you that. And the results are going back now as well, including, I know we'll argue last year he came in halfway through the season, but the results since then, because we talk about a manager walking in the door and whatever philosophy they have about the football, but you're going, Thomas Frank example, I know it's early days, but sometimes a manager will and have an effect.
Yeah.
Have an effect by his personality, his tone, the way he speaks to people. You get a bunch of people in your dressing room that will follow you. And that's it. And 1 or 2 will fall by the wayside. But you look and go, United's results. And he's had, 29, 30 league games now?
29 games.
29 league games.
29. I heard this. I was listening to a podcast on the way in. 28 points, 29 games. So we've got less points than games.
No, I'm convinced if any of us had gone in there, obviously, I think, I'd like to think if I went in there, I might get that type of response from players. Well, hopefully you get more than that. So he still must be looking at the emotion side of football, whatever, about this is my way of playing. You're not looking at a bunch of players going to go, and I'm going back to the Spurs final, I'm going back to Arsenal last week where they're getting some plaudits, not scoring enough goals, but not finding a way to get a result, not going, we're going to show that. I'll go back to goalkeepers, players at Man United, that kind of personality side of it. You don't see it with this group. Like the Fulham game last week. When you watch Man United against Fulham last week, okay, you got Arsenal, be a tough game, and their record is quite good at Fulham. But you're watching going, United could win 2-0 there, but they could lose 2-0. You're not thinking. You're looking at Liverpool now and Arsenal. You'd be shocked if Leeds beat Arsenal last week. You'd be going, I didn't see that coming. Or even Liverpool at Bournemouth. Okay, they Liverpool. Where United go, you just do not know what you're going to get. And I think if you're a manager and you're working with groups of players every week, you go, I don't know why. That's no good to you. Bill Shankly said years ago, he wants players, you go, I know they'll turn up every week. Doesn't mean you're going to win every week, but this side they go, it's hit and miss. Well, that's no good at this level.
If there's one thing, Roy, that you think that would be good advice for him to do that would get things right there, what would it be?
I don't know.
One thing.
Yeah, if you had to say one thing to him, you're in front of him.
Well, the way he is at the moment, the way he started the season, going, but I'm going to stay at the office. We're criticising Liverpool. He's got to win some more football matches. He's got to find a way to win. No, stating the obvious. But if you're winning football matches, you have a chance to have a project and to do other stuff. That includes Pep and all these players. But if you're talking about getting distracted by some of his decision making, we're all looking at it, and we're all, and again, we've all played the game at a good level. We're looking, going, that's a bit strange. Chopping and changing his fullbacks or defenders, throwing Maguire on every game to try and get you winning goal. Everyone can state that obviously they need a goalkeeper. Their stats last year, like, it's really bad. Their home record was shocking. That's why I was a bit surprised last week when everyone was going to go, almost pleased with United's performance last week. You lost home to Arsenal. They drew home to Arsenal last year, by the way. They're losing.
I thought it was a good performance, though, against Arsenal.
I messaged you saying that. It was no win, no clean sheet.
Yeah, what would you say, Gal? What would you say? You okay, Gal?
Get a good... Get a new groundsman?
Right. Get a new groundsman.
But he must sit with his staff on a Monday, lads. This is what you go into a football club on a Monday. You've had a good or bad result, and you sit and have a cup of tea like this for your staff, whatever. And you sit there and be going, the result. And you're going, but you must sit there and go, I know we've all got great plans.
Yeah.
Someone go, fuck me. We got to win some football matches.
I think most people. We all know Manchester United is not an easy club to manage. It's so big, there's so much eyes on it, and no one's expecting him to be amazing and do it really quickly. I get that. But if I was a United fan, I've just mentioned the points to games, that wouldn't be my biggest worry, even though it is a big worry. But I've got to feel like the guy's taking me somewhere, and I can feel it. So I can understand what you said about last week. There was an element of that against United. You think, okay, but then Fulham feels like something from last season. You don't feel like, okay, we're going somewhere. I can see it. I can feel, okay, we're not winning every week, but I can see what he wants. I can see.
Jamie, when Klopp went to Liverpool, didn't he struggle? But there was a feel-good factor about Klopp going. So see where we're heading.
Yes,
there's an element.
Exactly, Roy. And what Klopp did early on was you can see what he wants in terms of all the pressing. You know he hasn't got the quality of player, but he won some big games early on away at City and Chelsea. You think, oh, here we go. And I think Klopp's first season, he got to the Europa League final. I think he beat United and I think Villarreal on the way there. So there was something building, you can see it. And then in the summer he brings a player in. Yeah. And listen, it's 2 games into the season, but it's more the performances rather than the results with United for me.
I think it's
I don't. City play Burnley next week, then after the international break, it's the City game.
The City game, I think it is, yeah.
So in another couple of weeks, just a City turn them over, and then
it's Chelsea the week after.
Gal, just quickly with
pressure will just keep building and building.
I was going to say with England.
A couple of things I'll point out. First of all, which is just a prime example of professional footballers themselves not being able to see the woods for the trees. Now, Roy Keane is criticising Bruno Fernandes, and you can see it in Jamie Carragher's face, to be fair. He's criticising Bruno Fernandes for letting things linger when he's upset about something there. And he's, don't take it into the second half, just forget about it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Roy Keane has held a grudge for about 20 years. When was it he left Manchester United? Was it 2005? It's 20 years! And he still can't stand Sir Alex Ferguson. And if there's anyone that criticises Manchester United the most, it's Roy Keane, So he's made a second career of this grudge that he's had against Manchester United. And he has. And everyone knows. The only thing about Roy Keane that sort of lets him fly is that he's funny about it, even though he is sort of kicking off. And, he's a well-respected player. And fair enough, he is. He's an absolute legend. I love Roy Keane, I do. And when I criticise him or I call him out here, it comes from a place of love. But Roy Keane has got the biggest chip on his shoulder when it comes to Manchester United. So I can't remember a time when Roy Keane has been effusive about Manchester United when they've played well. And they have played well over recent years. Man United could win the league and he would probably say, yeah, well, they've done well, but they've got to do it again next season. Instead of just saying, well, they've been fantastic, fair play to them. Nonetheless, with regards to Ruben Amorim, he does have a point though. Ruben Amorim needs to figure out how to win football matches now, because it's all well and good focusing on the style of play. At the end of the day, it's about getting results. He needs to start getting results. And yeah, we did do well against Arsenal. Really, we should have won. We didn't do that well against Fulham, but we still should have won. I mean, this particular overlap episode has obviously been filmed before the Grimsby game. But against Grimsby, we should have won. But we didn't win any of those games. Now, the main reason for that, it's the team, I would say, is about 85% there. Maybe that's a bit generous. Maybe 75, 80% there. But there's one thing that we're struggling to do, which is what we struggled to do last season. But we've got no excuses now, and that is we can't score goals. But we've got enough attacking talent there to be able to do that. We've spent about 200 million on attacking talent this summer, so there's no reason why we can't start blitzing teams. Now, if you ask me, Ruben Amorim is making life more complicated than he needs to make it. Football's a simple game, he's overthinking it. I mean, I saw him last night on the bench with his little magnets and his little pitch, and he's moving magnets around and all of this to try and figure out ways to do this, that and the other. And he doesn't need to do that. He just needs to give his best players, his best attacking players, free rein to score goals. And Manchester United's best attacking player, ironically, based on what's been said on here, is Bruno Fernandes. And there's probably a reason why Bruno Fernandes is so frustrated and has been so frustrated since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time in charge, to be fair, because Ole gave him free rein. Bruno Fernandes is not a system player. He's the kind of player that you just stick up front and let him just do his thing. He's the classic old school number 10. And the old school number 10 was you just play him up front and give him a free role to create an assist. He shouldn't be in central midfield. He shouldn't be back defending or anything like that. He shouldn't be doing box to box. And Jamie Carragher is right. He's not a central midfielder. He is a number 10. And unfortunately, Bruno Fernandes has come around in the era of the system. If he was a 90s player, he'd be up there with like Francesco Totti and Alessandro Del Piero in esteem. He'd be playing for Juventus or AC Milan or whomever. But yeah, Ruben Amorim has got Bruno Fernandes playing in central midfield when all he needs to do is play his best attacking player, Bruno Fernandes, in one of those number 10 positions. I know they've bought Cunha and Mbeumo and Sesko, that's fine, but I thought the whole idea was to ease Sesko in. Now you can play Bruno and Mbeumo and Cunha up front and just let them rotate and sort of give them a free rein. Now, I remember when Antonio Conte played this 3-4-3 system. Now, the key thing for Antonio Conte in that system was everyone else had a structured role, the wing-backs, the central midfield, and the three at the back. And if you look at that team, it was crap, by the way. Man for man, it was crap. But they gave Eden Hazard, Pedro, and Diogo Costa a free role. I think Diogo Costa, stayed up front and was just kind of the focal point of the attacks. Fair enough. But Pedro and Hazard, he just said, just go for it. Just create goals. Just do what you want. You've got no defensive duties at all. All you need to do is stay in the attacking areas and just try and score goals. And that's what Ruben Amorim needs to do with the three attacking players. It's not rocket science, it's football. That's it. It's football. You don't need to overthink it. You're not building a Tesla car. You're not trying to put men or AI robots on Mars. You're just trying to put balls in the back of nets. And to do that, you get your best attacking players and put them close to the opposition net and give them the ball. That's it. So just make sure the back three are solid. The two central midfielders are solid. So you can put Casemiro and Ugarte in there. That's it. It's fine. And then have the wing backs bombing up and down, defending and supporting the attacks. Because the 3-4-3 hinges mainly on the wing backs and their ability to attack and defend. So they have to be, racehorses basically, and they've got a good player there in Dorgu. He's certainly got the athletic capabilities, and Dalot's good enough. And then the three up front, just let them do their thing. Don't stifle them. Just let them create. They are the creative fulcrum of that team. They should be allowed to just express themselves. So it's no wonder that Bruno Fernandes is frustrated, because by design, the classic number 10, the trequartista or the second striker, which is what he is, they are artistic kinds of players. Do you think Eric Cantona would thrive in this Ruben Amorim system? Do you think Alessandro Del Piero or Francesco Totti would thrive in this Ruben Amorim system? Probably not. They'd be creatively stifled. So, Ruben Amorim, just keep things solid at the back, keep things solid in central midfield, allow the full-backs to just bomb up and down. We need a new goalie. I mean, don't forget that about the Grimsby game. I mean, their 2 goals were 2 stupid goals because of a bad goalkeeper. And just allow the creative players up front to just do whatever they want. Even Pep Guardiola conceded that he said that his whole tiki-taka system was designed to get the ball and the team into the final third. When the team and the ball is in the final third, then it's up to the attacking players to do what they do. That's it. It's over to them. So he needs to start trusting the attacking players to be able to do what they do best. Oh, hey. Do you know what? It's not even frustrating anymore watching Man United. It's just a pain in the backside. It's like, just let them play. Just let them play. But Roy Keane's right. He is right in what he says in this clip. Well, you know, we've got Burnley at the weekend. If he doesn't beat Burnley, then they've got the international break. And then if they get battered by City and then they get beat by Chelsea, then the pressure's it's going to increasingly mount. Now, we need a new goalkeeper and we need to find a way to start scoring. It's as simple as that. It is simple, which is one of the frustrating things about watching this bloody game. Anyway, what do you guys think? What does Ruben Amorim need to do in order to get this team purring? You know what to do. Thoughts in the comments, and the Big D will see you in the next one.